Going in 3, 2, 1. You are listening to Nerding Out with Joe and Justin. We are sorry for the upcoming content. I'm going to add that in post mix. Come on. What the hell is this thing doing?
I don't know.
I hate using new software. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Oh, you
There's no back yet, Jeff.
No.
Back doesn't exist.
Welcome back. Okay, this is just getting on my nerves. This is capping out in a big way. I am literally taking down everything I can to bring up audio. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. That's actually really good. Justin, talk.
Testing. Remember, Joe, we are not back. It's kind of hard to be back right now. It's episode 1. How can you be back from episode 1?
Keep talking.
Oh, I'm still trying to balance, apparently. And this stupid balancing.
All right, we're solid. Right.
Where's it at? Oh.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 1. This is the first inaugural episode of Nerding Out with Justin over there. You're muted.
I'm no longer muted.
There you
Took
go.
a second to unmute. I hit unmute, it just didn't unmute right away.
Mr. Justin Blatecki, and I am Joe Wilson, and we are here to talk about everything nerdy. This is our first episode. I have not been in podcasting in ages, it feels like, and I am back, and I am doing it with just one other person. And this is going to be a weekly show every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. We have an interesting show for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking about the age-old nerd debate of Star Wars versus Star Trek. The two sci-fi that really have nothing in common other than the fact they both say star in the name.
And they both take place in space. That's about the extent of it.
Yeah, that's about the extent of it. So we're going to get into that. We got a bunch of other little things that we're going to talk about. One of the big things we're going to talk about is our week in nerds, as I stutter. First of all, I'm going to just have me and Justin introduce ourselves about our nerdiness and what we are about, why we are qualified to talk on this show, apparently. I am Joe Wilson, also known as Joe the Widget Wilson. I am a video game designer. Have been since God of War and Killzone and Quake 3 Arena and all kinds of games. I am also a published author. I write fantasy novels. My first one was released November 2013 called Continua. Yeah. I thrive in all things nerdy. So that's me. Justin, what about you?
I Justin Latecki, also known as Justin Novosi. Novosi's my gamer tag. I've been gaming forever. But what qualifies me to be a nerd probably would be the fact that that was something I kind of embraced when I was younger, but I didn't truly embrace being a nerd till college. And that's when I just truly just dove full headfirst into nerd culture and nerd living and nerd life. So, yeah, I'm one of those people that every chance I get, I like to go to my local card shop, play Magic, or pick up a new odd board game or something like that. I grew up with nerd culture as well. My dad's a nerd as well. He got me into Star Wars and a bunch of other fantasy, sci-fi stuff and things like that. So, yeah, I also do work in computers. I'm a front-end web designer and developer. So, even though that's more mainstream now than anything.
Yeah, we both live in front of a computer.
And I do plan on doing a special episode for that Swedish
A special episode?
on May the 4th.
Oh, jeez. Yep, that's definitely going into the nerd realm, Justin.
Even though that is another show's day, it will be brought up on that day.
So, let's go ahead and jump into our week. And I guess it's like a couple of weeks because we really haven't done this show yet until now. Do you want to go?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to let you go because mine's kind of nuts.
Well, mine's non-existent, but that's just because I didn't put anything. I've been watching the original Star Trek, mostly just because of this topic, and I like rewatching them every so often. I actually did a website with involving Leonard Nimoy, so I rewatched them again about 6 months ago. But they've been good. I've always enjoyed them. So I saw Star Wars. I saw that opening Thursday night at midnight. So Friday morning, Friday, whichever way you want to look at it. Thursday night showing, Friday morning showing.
Nah, no need to get that technical. Come on.
Eh,
It was still night, wasn't it?
it was still night.
It started out Thursday, so Thursday night works.
Technically, the movie did start at 11:45, so I guess it would be Thursday. But it was really, really, really good. Warning, spoilers in the show. So if you have not seen it yet, warning, there will
Yeah.
be spoilers.
There are going to be spoilers.
Just stating that now before people start flaming us for going, hey, you spoiled the movie for me. No, we warned you. There are going to be spoilers.
Yeah.
We-
Do not
we
listen
covered-
if you're one of the few idiots who has not seen the movie.
And if you have, I feel sorry for you. Go see it now. Now. Just ask Joe. I kept telling him to see it. See it now. Now. See it now, Joe.
Go see it! Yeah, I'm going to have to just like stay away from my microphone because it keeps on wanting to go crazy cap out. So I'm going to just go back here. So you were one of the few that went and saw...
Oh, there was no few. There was a lot.
So basically, Justin, what you're saying is you get the nerd... You get a nerd badge?
I get the nerd badge for being first in the group to see it.
Yeah, definitely. That's a nerd badge right there.
I
That's a nerd
also have-
card. Let's put it that way.
I also have the pre-ordered digital movie of it already, and I have the Star Wars PlayStation. So
Yeah, you should have. Everyone, you guys should have seen this. Justin, we have this group on Skype where our other show that we do, Ninja Monkey Gaming, where we have like all the staff there, and we just chat all the time. First thing Christmas morning, Justin posts up this massive picture, and look at what I got! I love my mom and dad so much. A big old picture of him holding the Star Wars PlayStation 4. I was just a little bit jealous.
you got yours for free. So
One of them.
well, one of them.
The other one I had to buy. Dang divorces.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, unfortunately. Anyway, what else have you been up to, man?
I've been completing one part of the story for Fallout 4 and completing Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I played a game with few of my friends. We picked it up at one of our card shops in the area. It's called You Shouldn't. This game was not play tested. Let me tell you, it is absolutely fun to play that with as a drinking game.
Really? I've heard of that, actually.
It's like every time you die, you take a drink of whatever you're drinking, a shot, whatever it is. And if the person who wins, or at least this is how we did it, the person who wins gets to pick who drinks out of that round, so someone might get a second drink. Yeah, it got pretty crazy around New Year's.
That's the one
I play
with the
CS:GO.
cards
You
that,
get
right? Like, is it just a bunch of cards
Yeah, it's just a bunch of cards
that do random crap?
that do random crap and make no sense.
If you're the oldest and you have a mustache, you win.
There's that one. There is a battle like rock, paper, scissors, and who majority wins. So if like majority pick scissors, they all win. Or,
I met the guy who created that, actually, at a little tiny convention here in Buffalo.
we didn't play test this at all. Fun little game.
It's
It
just
gets kind of
stupid.
boring after a while, but if you play it in small spurts, it's really fun.
A really fun board game is House on Betrayal. Is it Betrayal on the Hill? Dang it, I can't think of the name.
I have no idea what board game you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm going to go see it. You chat. Just chat. I'm going to go figure this out.
Well, Swedish, I play CSGO every so often. It's been a while since I played it. When I played it, I got up to
Alright, I got it. We're
Gold
cool.
Nova 1, I believe. I got
Betrayal
up to
at House on the Hill.
Betrayal at House on the Hill, okay.
Yeah, don't ask. The name is stupid, but the cool thing about it is that it's never the same game twice. And you literally, okay, let me explain this game. You have a card where you're basically, step back. We're going to go further back. You pick a character.
Okay.
In the character card, they have different stats of 4 different stats. Intellect, sanity. So those are your two, those are your two mind categories. And you have strength and speed. So each character has different stats in those categories. And when one of those stats goes to 0, you die. Doesn't matter which one. Any of those stats goes to 0, you die. So basically you have all these characters, and every player is working as a team in the beginning of the game. And you start out in this hallway in a house. And you have a pile of house cards. So there's a multitude of dice, and these dice are 0, 1, and 2. That's all they have. So you get to roll how many dice, whatever your speed stat is. So if your speed is 4, you roll 4 dice. So you have a maximum of rolling 8 for your movement. And when you go when you go down the hallway, it's set up into squares. Each square is 1 space. And when you go in through, on like a side where there's a door, if you go through that door, you pull up a room card. So if you're on the bottom level or the first floor, you pull up a first floor card and you put it down. So you're basically discovering the house as you go, randomly. There's the upstairs, there's the basement, and each room has different things that occur, and there's like these haunted scenarios where certain things can occur, and depending on how you roll, you can get buff stats. But then there's the omen cards. Omens are like an item that you can get, but something also happens. You have to roll what's called the omen. If you don't beat the omen cards by, like, say that there's 3 omen cards that people have out on the board, if you don't roll 3 or more, the omen begins. And the traitor is determined. And depending on the scenario of like what room your character is in, what omen cards you have, and different various factors, there's these giant books that you pull out. You go and find out from those factors what the haunt is. And it tells you who the betrayer is. So the betrayer takes the book of the betrayer and goes into a different room, and everyone else is a team against the betrayer. So the entire game changes. That's when the game really begins. It could be like that betrayer became a werewolf, and you've got to figure out how to find the right room to get the silver dagger to kill the werewolf before he wipes everybody out with his minions that he now has on the board. There's so many different things. I've probably played it 15 times, and I've had 15 different scenarios. Some of them are really cool. Some of them are just, how in the hell are you supposed to beat this? Doesn't make any sense. But it's crazy fun. I highly recommend it. It's expensive, though. It's like $80.
Oh yeah, I've spent big money on board games before, but the good ones usually require that, just because of all the effort they have to put into them.
Yeah. This one you could definitely see the effort. And it's crazy good. So it's Betrayal on House on the Hill. At House on the Hill. Another one I got picked up at Barnes & Noble for my daughter. It was this dungeon in a box. It's like a D&D dice game where you go into you dive into the dungeon. Each player has a turn to dive into the dungeon, and one person is the dungeon master rolling different mobs, and you have your little party of like clerics and warriors, depending on how you roll the dice at the beginning of your dive, trying to make it to the 10th level. And depending on what level you get, depends on what XP you get, and you get items. It's crazy fun. I got it for my daughter for Christmas. I think me and her and my son played like 3 or 4 games, and you have these hero cards you get with special abilities you can use once per dive. And when you get so much XP, you flip it over and you become a legendary hero. It's fun. So yeah, anything else?
That I've done?
Since I interrupted you?
No, not really. Not a whole lot I've done. Past few weeks have been kind of sucked into PlayStation, but
yeah, playing Fallout like crazy.
Yep.
Didn't you beat it? Fallout 4?
Yep. I'm through at least one of the endings of the main story. There's a few other ways I could go.
Yeah, I'm not even nowhere near that.
You're closer than you think.
You went AWOL crazy on that game. It was like nonstop. That's how you grew that beard. You didn't take a shower. You just sat there and played.
What can I say? I got a level 48 character. What do you want?
So those of you who have played Fallout 4, just to start playing this Christmas morning.
Christmas Eve night.
Right. And it is now January 5th. And he's got a character in his 40s. I've had it since launch, and I've got a character that's level 32. Or 31, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also... I really don't want to spoil anything. I'm trying not to say anything about what I've done since past your point.
Yeah, don't. I'll reach through this computer and I will beat you.
Like, I want to say something that I've done, because I know you really will never do that.
I'll probably reach the screen and beat you like a wicked stepchild. Just saying, don't do it. Even though I don't know when I'm ever going to get to that point. I have so many different games I'm playing. Like Just Cause and that, and whatever I decide to play on my PlayStation, and Hearthstone.
Oh, I played City Skyline. Forgot about that.
Oh yeah, you did pick that up, didn't you?
Yep.
You enjoying it?
Last night I finally got I was hitting some sort of strange bug. I couldn't get the high density stuff to build. It wasn't building. So I'd constantly get to that point, and then I would just be like, I can't do anything else. So I'd start over again, and I'd try again, and I just kept hitting that bug, and then last night I finally started building.
Okay,
So
then.
I don't know what it was, and it was killing the game, and then all of a sudden I started building, and it made my game fun again. Because when you get to that point, you can't build it. It's just like, now I got to really slowly build up my population with just normal low density housing.
I haven't heard of that bug. I didn't have any issues with it when I played it.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it just wouldn't build. Even when I put all the things like this cemetery or crematorium or whatever, and the fire department and the police department and all the education all in one little block. Because some people said that it was just because they weren't fully encircled by everything or they weren't being covered by enough stuff. So I put them all in a square, right in the same block. And put the high density stuff all right there, and it didn't build. I sat there for probably 30 minutes waiting for it to build. It never built.
Huh. I don't
You
know.
know,
What to
there
tell
was
you.
a skyrocket demand for housing and commercial and offices.
So yeah, for those who don't know, City Skylines is a game you can get on Steam. It's basically a city building sim, just like
It is a city
SimCity,
building
but
sim.
better.
It's what the new SimCity should have been.
Yeah, before EA took over and failed. So, I have a day job to make the bills, and it's been a nightmare, but I have been building a website for work, and it's been driving me up a wall trying to figure out how to get this thing to work. So it's an e-commerce thing. But yeah, I don't want to get into too that much of that just in case my bosses are here, someone hears this, so I'm gonna shut up on that. But anyway, I've been watching a lot of Star Trek Next Generation over the last few weeks. And I found out tonight I'm on the final episode of the final season. Season 7.
That's one of the good series of it, Next Gen.
Like 25 episodes or something like that per season.
No, I'm talking about the different variations of Star Trek Next Gen.
Yeah.
One of the good ones.
It's my favorite. And I'm surprised I didn't watch all of it all the way through until recently. I mean, I've seen episodes, but it was spot here and there, never just through it. And I gotta say, I was kind of happy that Wesley was out of the show for a few seasons. It's a cool show. I like it.
It is.
I've really, really enjoyed it. One of my favorite Star Trek episodes of all time was on that. I think it was like in season 5 or 4. Something the Light, where Picard goes, he gets hit by this probe, and he gets sent to, he becomes this different person in a whole different world, and he has this entire lifetime in a span of 20 minutes. And they did it just so they could have someone to basically tell people about their society, because they had been long dead for 1,000 years. And he got to experience an entire lifetime in 20 minutes with these people. It was really like a very emotional episode. I thought it was really cool.
The Inner Light,
Yeah, The Inner Light.
season 5, episode 25.
That one. Right before the start, right at the end of season 25, actually. Or 5. I wish I had 25 seasons. That'd rock. But no.
In total, Star Trek's had close to like 50 seasons, 30 seasons, 35.
Wasn't the original Star Trek still the longest running one?
No, I think Next Gen's actually longer. I think
They only
Next Gen's
run
longer
for
by
they only
1 or
ran for
2
7 seasons. You're typing.
Yes, I am.
That's annoying. All right, so been watching a lot of that. Still single, but that's just the nerd's life. And I'm working on finishing up the Starting City New Theros still, doing all the final details in it. So I have to design and build this entire city for this MMORPG I'm working on. And we have, well, the starting cities are just designed to be a place for players to go to on a rare occasion, because the world is so huge that it takes hours to get anywhere. And but still, I have to do all these little minor details to make it feel like a living city. Like I'm putting random crates everywhere, barrels, carts, and light posts. I'm going to be putting NPCs in soon. That's when it's really going to start to flourish. I've had to redesign it twice already. And last night, I went and did a Geeks Who Drink trivia. I did something in person. It's like a last minute thing I decided to go do. and went in there, met these really cool people, met one lady, and then the team I was on actually won.
That's good.
I only answered maybe 2 or 3 questions myself, but we actually won. They were asking me to come again the next time we go, so I'm probably going to go again. It was interesting. I don't get to go out and do things with other people very often, so
It was interesting to go out and see other people. There's a world outside these walls.
yeah, right?
Oh, I didn't think there was anything out there.
It happens.
I thought it was just like cold, empty darkness.
In Buffalo it is. Can't believe how freaking freezing it is. Christmas Day it was 55. Here it is, January 5th, and we got to 5 degrees last night. And in my house I have this one single large space heater. It was cold. I wound up sleeping on my love seat, just piling on 3 different blankets in my full clothing just to stay warm. Did not enjoy it, even though I slept like a baby.
It's just supposed to be wet and chilly here this weekend.
Wet and chilly.
Wet and chilly.
I made chili last
for it
weekend.
to, not cold enough for it to turn into snow or anything, just wet.
Okay.
So it's supposed to be like mid-30s or so.
Mid-30s? Dude, you
Yeah.
suck. That's like warm. I want warmth. I need warmth, damn it. Think about moving my desk over to my large space heater in my dining room.
Well, you can always turn your computer and have the heat exhaust fan blow on you.
I had this little space heater underneath my desk, but that thing is loud as crap, and there's no way I'm doing an audio podcast with that thing going. That was just nah. Here, let me do that again for you.
Are you sure? Are
Yeah.
you sure that's what it sounds like?
I'll turn it on here. I got to actually enter the New Year's. It's probably the coolest way possible. I went and saw Star Wars Episode 7 with my kids,
Finally.
and I believe it turned midnight right about the last 20 minutes of the movie. Right at a certain character's death, I think.
Well, we can say it. We said we were going to spoil it.
Yeah, so when Han Solo gets run through.
When Han Solo dies. By his own son.
Like I didn't see that coming.
One of them had to die. I knew one of them was going to die. It was just a matter of which one.
Well, I knew it wouldn't be Leia. I knew it wouldn't be his kid, because he's going to be in the rest of the movies.
Well, yeah, he's the new villain. Well, one of the new villains.
Yeah, the new main protagonist. I guess we could start talking about that kind of stuff.
I guess. Since you brought it up now.
Yeah, I brought it up. Star Wars. All right, Justin, I know you've been itching to talk about this for weeks now, weeks. So here's your chance, man. Let it out.
I have 2 theories that are actually gaining traction throughout Star Wars communities anyways. One of them is highly actually thought of already, and that is that Rey is related to the Skywalker line somewhere, and my theory is that she is a twin of I just drew a blank on the new protagonist's name, the new bad guy.
Yeah, I thought about that too. But then,
she's his he's her brother,
mm-hmm.
and on the new Tatooine-looking planet, I can't remember what it's called at the moment, she was abandoned there, and that's actually kind of said, anyways, in the movie.
Well, I thought about that. I mean, I think they were trying to make us think that way, though. When she kept on saying that Han Solo was like a father to her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's exactly what it is. I think she's actually Luke's daughter. When he took off to go into
I could see that
exile.
one too. I could see that one too. It's just,
However, I know of Star Wars books that take place after the events of 3, 4, and 5, or 4, 5, and 6. I mean, I almost lost my nerd card there.
Shame on you.
Right? So, and I know that Luke had a kid. I know Leia had a kid. And if you remember, the black guy, which I forgot his name too, he was taken as a baby too.
Finn.
Finn.
Him,
right.
I actually think is related to Lando.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Either
Somewhere down the
uncle,
line.
father, grandfather, something. He's related to Lando Calrissian.
That's just racist, though.
But he's the only black guy we ever had in the movies, outside of Mace Windu.
Yeah, there you go. All in all, though, I thought the movie was pretty cool. There was a couple of things about it that kind of drove me crazy. Like, the story felt very rushed. It felt very, very rushed. And generic. It didn't really... it didn't give enough detail into the characters.
No, it did not. I need
At
more
all.
information. It gave, and it just has so many holes in the stories. You're like, I need more info to figure things out.
Right?
Feed me info.
I know why they did that, though. They're trying to tease into the next 2 episodes.
Oh yeah, and the next one's supposed to release in like 2 years or something like that.
Year and a half.
Yeah, something like that. Not the next live action. There's an animated one coming out this year.
Yeah, but we want to know what happens next, of course.
Yes.
If they would have been smart, they would have already, did like Lord of the Rings and filmed all of them together and just released them a year apart.
No, this is Disney we're talking about.
True, they don't think that far ahead. We're going to see if it's going to do good first, and then we'll talk about doing another one.
And it blew up box office records, and they sold production rights of anything Star Wars related to anyone willing to buy it.
I'm still trying to figure out who that new Dark Lord dude is that looked way over animated.
There are theories, I don't support it, but there are theories to say that the person that is like Jar Jar Binks or something. I was hoping when the new Death Star blew up the capital planet, capital city or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping we would see Jar Jar Binks standing on that platform just so we could see him go boom.
That would have been so funny. That would have been great.
Everyone would have just cheered.
That's why I'm
for
saying
days.
generic. All they did was they took the whole Death Star thing and they made it bigger.
They made
And
it a
it
planet.
blew up just as easy.
They made it a planet. Instead of a moon,
What do you think a star is?
they made it a planet. It ate a star. It is a Death Star, actually. It does eat stars. It is a death to stars.
True. Yeah, they could have done something more creative than just going bigger and better, and then blowing it up in a bigger and better fashion. When they started going down the pipeline on the attack, I just was like, "Oh my god, this is a direct copy."
All we needed was Obi-Wan Kenobi going, "Trust me,
Use the Force.
Force."
It looks to me like they were basically taking the old characters and kind of like passing the torch on the new generation.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how this movie felt.
So what did you feel about the 10-minute ending of just silence?
Oh, yeah, how Luke got paid like Mark Hamill got paid like $5 million to not say a word in the movie.
Not say a word, just stand there. Nothing happened. It was just silence. We saw Luke. Nothing was said. Rey climbed up the old Jedi temple. Supposedly.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Oh, it was hilarious. When the title came on, you know how they always start the movies with the floating screens?
Uh
And the score hits hard right when that happens. My daughter jumped out of her seat. It was hilarious.
huh.
She was not ready for that.
How could you not be ready for that?
It's like, honey, that's how all of them start. I know, Dad. And she kept on looking at me. Explosions! I was like, you're so my daughter.
She's not your daughter at all, is she? She's not related to you in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, right? You're not your dad's girl. Nah, she really enjoyed it. My son, poor kid, likes the first three better than the original three.
Why?
Well, he's part of that generation. That was their
So
new
am
Star
I.
Wars.
I was there for the release. I saw episode 1 probably 6 times in theaters because my mom worked at a bookstore in the mall, so that was what I did a lot during the summer. I went to the movies. And that was my go-to movie for like 3 months.
Okay, then.
That was back in a time when parents actually let their kids out and do stuff. Give them money, go let them loose in the mall and go, here, go watch a movie,
Go do something.
go
Stay
do
out of my
something.
hair. I took my son to go see those movies. He was really young though.
Yeah, my father-son movie things were Lord of the Rings.
Mm.
That's what we did.
I'm one of
Yep.
those. Here's my nerd card moment. I was one of those guys that the very rare theaters that the very few theaters in the country that right before Return of the King released, they
Mhm.
showed it an hour before midnight, and they also showed the first one and the second one in extended edition in the theater. They did all three in a row with like a 30-minute break in between each one. And they had staff from the making who made the Lord of the Rings there doing contests and all kinds of goodies like that, including the news was there. I was on TV, but like for my 5th time. So I was one of those guys that did that for 10 hours that day.
Yeah.
10 hours straight. And ate up every moment of it. Got to see the Return of the King before everybody else. It was
That'd be
great.
fun.
Hmm?
I said that would have been fun.
My 2 best friends were with me, and they were dressed up as elves. I was embarrassed.
Why would you be embarrassed?
I wasn't really embarrassed. I was dressed up, but I was just telling everybody I was their bodyguard.
What were you? Were you the dwarf?
I wasn't dressed up.
No.
I was just their bodyguard. So that's what I did. That was a blast. I still have like a lot of keepsakes they gave us. They gave us this really cool. I gotta find it. Case that has like the different characters. Looks like it's etched in stone, and they have a single piece cut from each of the films of a frame inside of it from
Oh,
all
that's
3
cool.
movies. I also got this collector's card with a coin they gave us. It was really fun. I didn't win any of the contests, but
No, not with your luck.
no. One of my buddies did actually. He got a poster that was signed by members of the staff.
That'd be cool. I'd get that framed.
I think he still has it framed.
Yeah, it would definitely be framed. It wouldn't be in just on the wall. No, it'd be framed.
Well, that's not something you would do that with. No, you would have to frame it. If you didn't, you were an idiot.
Yep.
Like I still have my HK poster I need to get put up.
I still need mine.
They said they were sending them.
I haven't gotten it. Just FYI. But no big deal.
Yeah, I'll bug them again later. And we were talking about a game called Gigantic. It's coming out for Windows 10 and Xbox One. That's really fun. It's a MOBA, and we know the staff pretty well. And they gave me and my son signed prints, original prints from the artists of 2 of the characters. They were supposed to be sending Justin and a couple other staff theirs as well. I don't know why they haven't. And I did email him a couple weeks ago, so
Well, they've been a little busy, and the holidays came around, and they shut office, and there's a couple other internal things too that you may
Staff
not have
changes.
been. Yeah, there've been some box things going around that you may not have heard.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of the other things of testing that game.
Gotcha. All right.
Yep. I'm not going to go any further.
Let's debate, Justin. Star Trek versus Star Wars. And like we said at the beginning of the show, the only real commonalities between these two is the fact that they have star in their name. They're both sci-fi, and they both take place in outer space.
Yes.
The differences is Star Trek is set in the distant future. Star Wars is set in the distant past.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. Star Wars is about war. Always conflict, badasses between light and dark. Star Trek is about peace, harmony, and exploring.
And diplomacy and
Right.
a little bit of fighting here and there,
They are like the exact polar opposites.
depending on which version of Star Trek you're watching, or if you're watching the movies. Movies are different from the shows, trust me.
Right. So I don't know why people say that there has to even be a debate about which one is better. Are you a Star Trek fan? Are you a Star Wars fan?
I'm both.
Yeah, frankly, I really
I-
enjoy both.
I like Star Wars more than I like Star Trek, but I like both.
Hmm. You know, if Star Trek got more badass, I like it more.
You like the newer outlook on Star Trek.
Yeah, I do.
See, that's where the true Star Trek fans will go, you are so wrong. But
I like the new movies. They're a lot of fun.
they're good. They're good. I'll give you that. They are good movies. But
I'm one of those guys
I-
that likes like Michael Bay stuff, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, I've
Michael
got
Bay
something to
just
talk
needs
about
to
in
make
a
a
little
video game and call it Just Cause 4, and Joe will be extremely happy.
bit. Yeah. Blow stuff up. Explosions.
If there's a game that entails Michael Bay, it's called Just Cause,
Yeah.
and he just needs to be in the production room for it, and they could plaster his name all over and it'd sell everywhere. Yeah. That is the game that entails Michael Bay.
It's fun. Come on, it's just real. It's just pure guy fun.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So there's not really too much to debate about, other than I guess Justin and I are pretty much on the same page. Is that why can't we be fans of both? And they are completely different animals.
They each have their own pluses and minuses that make them good. Star Trek has many different things you can watch, many different iterations, different movies,
Different storylines.
different storylines, different crews, so many different things. And Star Wars is fairly limited in what you can watch. You got the movies, and if you're feeling adventurous, I particularly didn't like the Clone Wars show, but I know a lot of people did. A lot of people liked that animated series. I really did not. It made no sense to me and didn't really connect to Star Trek or Star Wars lore for me. Because one, I had a hard time believing that Anakin can have a Padawan when he's a Padawan. That made no sense to me.
He was jumping the gun. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first three movies were terrible. As in the first three in the series, the newer ones, not the original three.
First three were awful. Just hand me your nerd card, Joe. Hand me your nerd card now, Joe, and leave.
Why?
if the original three were awful.
Oh God, no. No, that's my childhood. I mean, I had the original Star Wars action figures, including the Millennium Falcon that you can open up and put your characters in, your little figurines in. Wish I still had that. I had the really cool Imperial shuttle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that
I had-
folded the wings down.
I used to have. I think we got rid of it when we moved, but I used to have Star Wars Battleship. They made all the Star Wars, the original original three Star Wars movie sounds and stuff.
The Star Destroyer?
No, the battleship game, Star Wars
Oh,
Battleship game.
okay, gotcha. Yeah. Yep, I know what you mean. That would be cool.
Yeah, I used to have that. We got rid of it when we moved, though. I believe. I think we donated it to the hospital.
Yeah, so what we want you guys to do is to email us about what you guys think about the whole Star Wars, Star Trek debate. So you can email us at nerdingoutcast@gmail.com. All one word, nothing fancy, nerdingoutcast@gmail.com. Email us what you think, whether you think there really is a debate there and why. If not, which one was your favorite and why. We want to hear it so we could talk about it on the show. But you heard our opinion, and I really didn't give my favorite because I don't really have a favorite of the two, honestly. I like them both for what they are and what their separation is. I do very much enjoy Star Trek Next Gen. So far, it's probably my favorite, that and the new movies. I really enjoy the original Star Wars movies and the new one, Episode 7. I do want to watch the animated show. I heard it was really good for Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. It just wasn't mine. I didn't really like it. Just me.
All right. Well, in the news, the Oculus Rift pre-orders open up January 6th officially. You can go to their website, oculus.com, at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and on January 6th,
Tomorrow.
which is tomorrow. And they'll be opening up how much it's going to cost, and all the pre-orders go live.
That is in 13 hours and 7 minutes, just for us live right now. That's what the time is.
Yeah. I don't think they announced the price yet either.
No, there's nothing on the site.
13 hours.
Pre-order of what games you're getting with it when you pre-order it.
Oh yeah, Eve, Valkyrie, and Lucky's Tale.
Yep. Which I have seen the camera in Eve Valkyrie, and it's really, really cool because it's in Eve right now.
How much you want to bet they're going to sell out?
Oh, they're going to sell out instantly. It will be sold out in, I'll say, 10 minutes.
I like the fact that they did add a headset to it finally.
Yes, that didn't need to happen even though I've never used one. That is one thing I've heard constantly, that it needed to have its own headset.
And for those who don't know, the Oculus Rift is a VR virtual reality headset for PC video games and things like that. The guesses right now, like they did say that it's not going to be $350 because they added new stuff to it. So the price is going to be above $350. Right now, the estimated price is between $350 and $500, which is a pretty large dent in the wallet.
Yes. But it's first release, essentially.
Yeah.
There's no other VR technology out on the market. So,
Oh, it's a huge boom for the video game market.
oh yeah, no, I'm talking VR market, virtual reality market, not video game market in general.
Period.
Yeah. And so it's going to cost it's going to cost a hefty chunk of change, but if you actually look at it, it costs a couple hundred more than a new console, unless you're getting special edition consoles. And a couple $100 off a decent computer.
Yeah.
So it's really not that bad. Not as, I mean, it's a lot in one go, don't get me wrong.
It's money I don't have right now.
It's money I don't have. I wish I had it.
Right? I want one. They didn't even announce when the stupid thing is going to even release.
Nope.
Might get that information tomorrow. No.
I have a feeling we'll get that information in about a week's time. I have a feeling they won't announce that right away either. I have a feeling they'll see how many pre-orders they get, and then they'll decide how much of production they got to ramp up before they decide how much they got to release.
Fair enough. At least they finally finished the retail design, which is cool.
Yes.
I look forward to it. I've used the Oculus on several occasions. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool.
There's actually a VR game on Steam right now. I came across it today. Let's see if I can find it again.
Yeah. How are they going to even play that? I know there's games that are releasing that are be VR compatible. Sony's
Paradise
VR headset.
Island.
What was that?
Paradise Island. Literally, it's like a meditation thing.
Oh, I know. I've actually done that one. I did that at PAX East last year, and it's actually really relaxing.
But it looked really interesting. It just happened to show up on Steam today. I don't know why. It just happened to show for me.
I've played a few. There's a couple of them that are really, really freaky. I played one where you're in a starship and you're trying to figure out why everyone disappeared. So it's all empty and dark. It's just creepy as you're walking around looking at these different things, and certain things will flash in the screen, and it's virtual reality,
it's
and
virtual.
it's really interesting. When they really start picking up the resolution and they can get and find better detail and color in that thing, it's going to get unreal. Right now, it's very limited.
Once Samsung figures out how to put 4K into their phone screens, they'll put that in an Oculus.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Samsung is a parent company for Oculus, I think, now.
They could be. I know Sony's headset supposedly is better in the specs wise than Oculus is.
I'd believe that.
And it's actually going to be a little bit cheaper.
I'd believe that too, because Sony has more money to just throw at it right now and take the hit off the initial buys, but make more in the long run.
Alright, so Ninja Turtles 2 movie, the main villain has been revealed, which I already knew this was going to happen. It was just duh. According to a very long Rolling Stones interview recently, the big baddie trying to take out the Turtles this time is none other than the pink brain himself, Krang. You know, the little brain dude in the stomach with his big, like, minion thing he controls?
Yes, I know.
Yeah, he's always been the main bad guy in Ninja Turtles. So
Yep.
when everyone always thinks of it as the Shredder, but that's never been the case. Not in the comics, not in the original cartoons, but only in the original 3 movies did they have, well, the original 2 actually, was it Shredder. And they're bringing in Rocksteady and Bebop, which we already knew from the trailer itself, which that trailer looks really cool. I'm excited. I like the new Ninja Turtle movies. I'm one of the few that really, really, really liked it. It was more gritty, more superhero than the old cartoony versions that they had.
Yeah.
It was more badass. Yeah, so they kind of screwed up the faces a little bit. I think they toned it down some in the second movie.
I don't know.
But come on, Casey Jones is the new one. I'm not sure if I agree with the choice of actor, but my son was so excited. His favorite character in Ninja Turtles lore is Casey Jones. And he kept on telling me after we saw the first movie, Dad, they gotta have Casey Jones when they do the second one. They got to. So, well, they stick true to the Ninja Turtles. He'll be in the second movie. Sure enough, he's in there. When Hellman, the guy who interviewed Michael Bay, he asked him basically about the design of the bubblegum giant, aka Krang, and he said, well, Hellman asked, so we've eliminated the tentacles, is it too monsterish? And Bay answered, he could have some tentacles, I just don't want them coming out of the side, he looks like a stupid octopus. So we don't know exactly how he's going to portray him, but knowing Michael Bay, it's going to be something outlandish and probably have huge lips.
Michael Bay do something outlandish? No, never. Why would Michael Bay do
I
that?
enjoyed the new Ninja Turtles. I really liked the song that came with it. Da 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 da. I know I got pulled up. Oh, you got to hear this, Jess. I am a huge Ninja Turtles fan, everybody. If you don't know this, I am a Ninja Turtles junkie.
No, he's not. Don't listen to him. He hates the Ninja Turtles.
Justin,
Absolutely
go
despises them.
Dynafire. And I seriously, if you have old Ninja Turtles comics and you want to get rid of them, throw them my way. I would be happy to take them. Still looking for them. All right, right here. There we go. I can find these songs. Justin, keep people entertained while I figure this out.
Well, I'll talk about the show I'm really excited to watch. That's starting actually now. The Shannara Chronicles. Actually, MTV might be doing something decent.
I kind of heard about that. What is that about?
The Shannara Chronicles are actually a series of books. And they're actually skipping the first book. I'm not really sure why. But they're skipping the first book. The book is by Terry Brooks. And my dad actually has most of these books. I read most of these books when I was actually in high school. And they're really, really good. Wait to see what they did with the show. Of how they're doing with how they're comparing to the books. The books
Hey, Justin, hang on.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So I like that song. And then I also have this one. Because I'm just that way. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Yeah. All right, go ahead. You were saying?
The Shannara Chronicles is a fantasy novel that takes place in Earth's distant future after our collapse, and it's a fantasy novel as well. There's elves and all that, all the normal fantasy stuff. It's really good. I highly recommend reading the books. I won't give any review on the show because it's just not starting. Matter of fact, I actually have it on my other monitor, playing in my ears.
I'm gonna have to check it out. What was that called again?
The Shannara Chronicles.
Okay, I have it right here in the notes. Durr.
Yep. And if you watched Gladiator, or not Gladiator, Spartacus at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you remember the Gaul?
Oh yeah, uh-huh.
He's in this.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure who he plays in it. I didn't see the trailer or stuff for what he plays, but he is in it.
Fair enough. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our inaugural episode of Nerding Out with Justin and Joe. We were a little bit dry at times. Apologize. We're just getting into this. We will be bringing on guests at times. I can guarantee you that. Just random people that we throw in here for color, or actual important guests that actually have an impact on the nerd community. We will let you guys know, and we'll bring them on and just talk nerd stuff. I mean, we're literally going to talk everything. So our notes, we have categories for video games, nerds in print, aka comics, books, news. We've got community emails, if we ever get any. Extras are basically whatever we want to talk about. What?
And obviously, video games aren't the only games we'll be talking about, as we spent probably a good 10, 15 minutes talking about a couple different board games.
Yeah, amen to that. Obviously, we have movies, TV. We might be doing a periodic Nerd Wars, which is a versus segment. Two things versus that, whatever they are. We'll get into that. And our Nerd of the Week, a.k.a. our guest. So stay tuned for future episodes. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be recording live at Twitch TV /NM Gaming Show. Ninja Monkey Gaming Show.
I thought this had its own Twitter.
That's the Twitch channel.
Oh, yeah, the Twitch channel. Duh.
Yes, this has its own Twitter. Speaking of which, any last things, Justin, before I talk about our contact?
If you guys have anything you want to have us talk about, go and shoot us an email, and we'll give you that contact information here in a little bit, or shoot us a Twitter, or tweet, something.
Something like that.
Yeah. Whatever.
I enjoy doing this. I've been feeling under the weather lately. You can
I
kind
can
of hear
tell.
I'm a little stuffed up.
You kept clearing your throat.
Yeah. Haven't been feeling well. I've had a nightmare of a time with work and things like that. So I apologize I wasn't my usual perky self today. But I will be back again into my perkiness. And Justin and I will be doing this every week, so stay tuned for it. And yeah, I've been excited to do this show, Justin. And hopefully
I'm just happy you finally saw Star Wars.
Right? I couldn't wait. I had to find the time. So contact us. How you can reach us. The show on Twitter. This show's Twitter is @nerdingout. You can find me at the Widget, WIGIT. You can find Justin at Nevosi, NEVOSI. Follow us in our random ramblings on Twitter. I'm usually on there a lot more than Justin is.
Yep.
But he'll get on there eventually when he gets followers. Don't make him feel so sad, people.
When I have actual followers, not just random bot followers or things like that.
Right.
Because I have a bunch of different random bot followers.
This show's email is nerdingoutcast@gmail.com. Nerdingoutcast@gmail.com. No underscores, nothing else, just one word. Email us. Leave a 5-star review on iTunes, people, please. Please, 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 please. It really helps us out to get noticed and out there in the community. And yeah, we'll see you guys again next week.
Bye.
Stay nerdy.
Because we're so wide and nerdy. Wide and nerdy.
That's terrible.
Sorry, it had to be said at some point.